Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Build a Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. We're back very slightly earlier than planned today for part 102. And that's because we've got a tough test in the SPFL Trust Trophy semi-final. Now, I would have probably played it off camera and fancied us to just edge out Linfield. But we've got an injury crisis. We've got Yeston Weaver suspended, we've got first team players injured, and we've got one keeper injured and one keeper doubtful. So we're either playing a third choice keeper from the reserves or we're playing a doubtful Radcliffe. This is going to be a tough test as a result. We'll also play Barrytown United away from home. We'll have to rest a few and they're on a resurgent bit of form. If you're looking forward to it, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Hopefully you're still enjoying the series as we're into our second 100. We'll have the return of Europe in the next episode, and if you want to find out how that goes and keep up to date with the series, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. There's also links to all the main playlists in the eye above, as well as the new food channel where we had our first full video at the weekend. A massive thank you to everyone who's given it a try, and if you haven't yet, please do pop over and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. And of course, we've got our biggest month of streaming coming in June over on Twitch. We're going to be doing Euros watch-alongs. We're going to have loads of FM streams as well. So plenty to look forward to. We've got a great little community there. So come and get involved. The more the merrier. And it'd be great to have you along. The link to that channel is in the description below. But let's go and have a look at what's been happening here with Bangor City. So you were with me last time. If we go and have a look at the schedule, as we face TNS in the League Cup semi-final and Barrytown United in the Welsh Premier League. Since then, 5 games, 4 comprehensive wins and 1 slightly fortunate one. So we beat Aberystwyth 6-1 in the cup final. We were right on our instincts. Aberystwyth, we've just got their number. The way we play, it just suits us down to the ground against them. Max Dean got a brace, Kane Walters got a hat-trick, and Scott Furlong got his first in extra time. Or stoppage time, I should say. The slight negative to come out of that, Chris Broome picked up what looked like an innocuous knock in that match. He's going to be out for 8 weeks, and he hasn't played since. So a big concern, and he might even miss the start of the Europa League last 16. So we've got to keep our eyes peeled on that. We won 7-0 in the Welsh Cup against Llandudno Junction, an early red card. And they did still hold out for another 20 minutes, but it was followed up by an absolute mauling. 2 for McDonald, 2 for Walters, and 1 each for Weaver, Furlong and Max Dean in stoppage time. A 4-0 win away at TNS wrapped up the title for sure. We're definitely going to win it now with a 10 to 12 point advantage. Malone, Jones, Lloyd and Luke Williams with 1 apiece there. A 1-0 win, a fortunate one against Swansea Uni. I say fortunate because A, we missed a penalty, and B, in the 87th or 88th minute, they had a glorious chance. A free header from 6 yards out. It was blazed over the bar. I don't quite know how they missed it. But in the end, Tom Jones, the youngster, stepped up with a crucial goal. And Aberystwyth again, a 3-1 win in the league this time. Kai McDonald helped them out with an own goal. They did actually have a fair few chances. They could have done something to us in that game, but we were too good in front of goal. Luke Williams with 1, Kane Walters with 2. And again, a bit like the Greg Pringle situation 2 years ago. A few of you in the comments, we wrote off Kane Walters a bit too early. He has come to the party now, and he's almost at 30 goals for the season. In fact, he might have even passed it in that game. But today it's Linfield and Barry. Next month, we've got the big ones. If you have a look at the competition screen, we're 15 clear now. In fact, it's even more than I thought. So we're in a really good position there. We're not going to throw it away. We could probably, in the last 7 games, not get a point and still win it. I trust TNS to drop 6. They've just lost in a semi-final to Motherwell in the SPFL Trust Trophy final. So if we do get past Linfield today, that'll be a really difficult one too. We face Aberystwyth again in the Welsh Cup. So we'll skip through that one off camera. Transfer news as the window finished, in grand scheme of things, was not a lot. Tony McLaughlin left the club. It was a big deal out. So I think that's the one we have to focus on. In terms of ins, there wasn't anything really. Weaver we talked about in the last episode. But Stoke under-23s came and paid the compensation for Tony McLaughlin. So the negative for the nation is that took his loan away from TNS early. But for us, it's a record sale, and it's the only way we're ever going to get big money for people. 250 grand up front, rising to up to 650 including add-ons. Yes, his personality's improved. Yes, he's training well, he's improving well. But he's never going to be worth that money, so I think we have to accept it and just say that's a brilliant deal for this football club. But in terms of injuries today, that is the main thing we're looking at. George Wicken's out. George Ratcliffe, doubtful. Keegan Riley, out. Chris Broome, out. It was a double hernia as well, still a big injury. And Archie Woods with a knock too. So we've got the option, if we go and have a look at the youth team, to bring up Joshua Pugh to play today. It would be his first appearance for the club, but that's why we got a third senior goalkeeper in, and I think that's what we have to go and do. So let's go and get into the lineup screen. Let's go and change the goalkeeper and make sure we're at our best. Josh Pugh, what a debut it is. He's the third choice keeper and he's got to play in the SPFL semi-final against a good Linfield side who we've struggled against in the past. We've had very close encounters against them. Let's see how they get on today. Josh Pugh makes his debut in goal. We've got Morgan Boys in at left back with Kai McDonald on the right. We've also got Whittaker and Price at centre half, of course. Harvey Lloyd in a holding role. Malone and Furlong start together as, of course, we've got the big injury to Chris Broome. And then Tom Jones is behind the front two. Walters, he's not reached 30 yet. He's on 29, but he's in exceptional form. But let's get in to face Linfield in the Cup semi-final and see if our third choice keeper and our heavily depleted side can manage to get a result and through to the Motherwell final. Right, a few players we recognise in that Linfield team again. Scott Aspinall, their star strikers on the bench, which I find a little bit surprising. Maybe he's had a knock or something. But they've got Bamber and Brennan in their back four or back five, however they're playing. Two players we've tried to sign in recent times. We know they're good footballers. Salford in goal's a good keeper. They've got quality across the team. We've got a good side, but Josh Pugh is making his debut. And that is not a position you want to be unsettled. You don't want to have that sort of disruption to your back four, back five when you're into this sort of game. So let's get through the tunnel interview. Let's try and do our best. And we've just got to hope there's no clangers in goal. Linfield going to be at their best today. And we've got to do everything to stop them. And almost immediately, we've got a free kick in our own half with John Price. Plays a 1-2 with Morgan Boys, who releases Furlong. Jones to Malone in the centre circle. McKeever intercepts the through ball. It's not good enough, really. And Fearon can bring it downfield. Comes past halfway. He's forced back to Lynch. Tries to switch it. Hamilton gets there first. And actually, they're keeping it really well here, as Lynch gets it on the right side again. Are we going to have to drop to a balanced mentality? Because we already look like we're getting pushed back. Collins puts Dempster in. It's going to be 1-0. I thought this might be difficult. I think I'm going to be proven right. This is going to be a long day at the office. We dropped to balance just to try and keep it tight for 20 or so. But it's 1-0 Linfield and we're in a whole world of trouble. And they've got a throw again, coming into our half with Hunt to Collins. He set up that first goal. And with 10 on the clock, they're really smelling blood here. Brennan puts it in. McKeever heads in for 2. We are going out, people. We finally had a year last year where we won all of the domestic and UK-based trophies. I know the injuries have come at the wrong time, but it is relentless Linfield highlights here. Every 2 minutes they're getting it back. Though Morgan Boys wins it on halfway to Scott Furlong. Can we just get a goal? Can we build some confidence? Malone through to Walters. We could do with magic now. Gets forced out too wide by the overhit pass. Back to Morgan Boys. He delivers in. Furlong's there. First one's blocked. It's lucky, but we'll take it. The keeper dived down to his left. The defender ended up blocking it. And it just fell for Furlong. It was the perfect angle and it was an empty net. So all 3 shots on target in this game have gone in. And at the moment, we're 2-1 down as Walters picks it up on the left. Can we get back on terms with Morgan Boys? Gives it to Harvey Lloyd. Back to Whittaker. Centre circle. Coming forward over halfway. Gives it to Furlong. And out to Morgan Boys. Not quite got that pace of Weaver, but certainly got the passing range. And there it is, Kane Walters with his 30th of the season. We said he's becoming a star. We said he's developing quickly. And after settling in with these lads, he's now becoming our hero. But there are highlights every 2 seconds at the moment. Hunt goes back to Lynch, and it's still Linfield pushing forward. Harvey Lloyd gets it after the block, though. Goes all the way back to Pugh in goal. Not really what the third choice keeper would have wanted. A very heavily hit back pass between the sticks. Furlong gets it from the long clearance, though. Finds Malone. Back to McDonald and Malone again. I think you can see even from the 2 goals though, it has harmed us defensively. Just having that unsettled nature and that change to the goalkeeper. As McDonald cuts it back to Lloyd. 30 yards out to Furlong. Boys is over on the left and he's released by Harvey Lloyd there. Gets towards the byline again. 3 in the middle. Walters is one of them. Down for Jones. It's disallowed. Why? The first one was blocked. Who's it saying was offside? The referee raised it. It doesn't say. I don't really get it, to be honest, but with 10 minutes of a breather at last, it's Linfield who are back in possession with McKeever. And it's becoming a good game, this, but to be fair, I'd argue Linfield still look the better. We're just a bit more ruthless on the break, as McManus gives it to Lynch and Fearon. They're keeping it nicely in our own half and go all the way back to Southwood between the sticks. Long ball down the left-hand side. Collins flicks on, McDonald does well. Malone wins it back in the middle. Back to Harvey Lloyd, to Furlong in there. He gives it to Jones. Over the top to Walters. Great first touch. Blocked by Bamba behind. It's really good defending. He was on him in a flash. And he got a crucial interception in the end. It's a corner kick which will be taken by Furlong though. The pressure is not gone for Linfield. Bamba heads away. It might be now as Collins picks it up for the counter. We snuff it out though. A really good first half comeback from us. And McDonald's got a free kick on the right. Just 9 to go to the break. It'd be brilliant if we could go in ahead after the start we had. Harvey Lloyd gives it to Furlong as we look to do so. Walters back to Lloyd again. John Price on halfway. Chips it over the top. Walters is there. Brilliant first touch. Lovely dink. And he has now caught Luke Williams. 31 goals apiece. Tell me he's a bad signing now. I won't doubt you because I said it about Greg Pringle. But let's be fair, he's a superstar. 3 shots on target, 3 goals as Harvey Lloyd delivers a free kick. Too close to the keeper. Southwood can counter here. For some reason he's taking his time. But I did not expect to be 3-2 up given the first 10 minutes. And will certainly take it as Price gets on the end of that clearance, goes all the way back to Pugh. And to be fair, he couldn't do much about the 2 goals. I know we're a bit unsettled at the back. Maybe the communication paths aren't quite there. But we've still done well as Luke Williams gets in. Chance to chip the keeper. Not quite as good as Walters. Just over the bar. Just too high. But with 5 to the break, it's 3-2. And it's been a wonderful last 35 minutes. But with 2 minutes of stoppage time to come, it's Linfield with the throw. Hunt on the left to Hamilton. Delivers into McKeever. Morgan Boys does well to head away. And Tom Jones is released. Linfield have committed men forward. Oh, I think he's passed the wrong way there. Walters on the left. It was the right-hand side for Williams who was free. Walters tries to get the shot away, but it was too much pressure. It was too acute an angle. And at half-time, it remains 3-2. But a wonderful comeback regardless. And now we've just got to hold on to it. Let's tell the lads to keep it up, get into the second half. And I was going to say, hope it's a little bit calmer. But we're back from the kickoff with the first highlight as Morgan Boys has it to Price. Chips it forward, but it's straight to Bamba. Collins brings it away. We don't want to start this half like we started the first, but it does look like it may happen. Brennan with the ball out to Collins, and his through ball is well dealt with by Pugh. Holds on to it, releases to Whittaker. Makes it look pretty comfortable in fairness. As McDonald comes out from right back. Down the line, Williams can't get there. Brennan finds it first. Williams actually been a bit disappointing today. Brennan goes back to Bamba. His long ball forward is headed clear by Whittaker. And I'm a bit worried about the fact we've seen this highlight because it's been nearly a minute now. And McKeever's down the right to Lynch. We know what this normally means. McKeever cuts back, Dempster's in. What a tackle by Matty Whittaker. Slid in a last-ditch challenge and just about blocked the shot. Incredible defending. And we preserve our lead with 5 gone in a second. But we probably didn't deserve to there. As we've got a throw on the left-hand side with Morgan Boys. Gives it back to Price, the centre-half. Out to Boys again. He finds Furlong. Can we release Boys? We do. He's got a chance to take on the fullback. Instead, it's a really under-hit cross. And it's cleared to McKeever, who's one-on-one with Price, the centre-half. Goes all the way towards the byline. Wonderful defending, Price. Bit of a dodgy back pass, but Pugh deals with it and goes long downfield. It's missed by Bamba. McManus gets there first, though. Luke Williams looked all at sea today. I don't know what's wrong with the lad. McDonald heads away the clearance. And again, we're seeing these really long, drawn-out highlights. And just to prove to you, we are only on key highlights, which suggests something special should happen here. As Malone gets it from Whittaker's knockdown to Jones. Through ball to Walters, back to Jones, into Williams. And I tell you what, he's had a very quiet game. He's been very poor out of possession. But it's 4-2. He scores his chance. And that's all that matters. We should be in the final now facing Motherwell. We've just got to have a solid half an hour. Just over a quarter of the game to go. Malone is tired and he's not had a great game. Tom Jones is knackered. So let's get on. Joe Duffy as the number 10. We'll bring on, in centre midfield, I think Daniel Williams for Malone. And up front, I am still going to replace Williams. Just give him a little rest. Max Dean will come on for him. We've got 22 minutes plus stoppage time to go. It's been a really solid performance after the first 10 minutes. And at the moment, we look comfortable. But Dean loses out in the air there. Collins gives it to Brennan. Long ball downfield. Whittaker deals with those in his sleep. McDonald goes long. Not quite sure he was aiming for, but it's back to Southwood. He can clear downfield. Become a very direct game, which is unlike us to get drawn into this battle. But McKeever switches the ball to Collins. And I guess it is led by the fact that Wickens isn't in goal and Pugh's playing a bit more direct out from the back. But even the centre-halves are panicking a tad. That ball in is cleared by Furlong. Waters gets there first. Max Dean's up with him, but he might go alone. Waters skins his defender. He's run rings round him. Oh, what a player. Do you know what? I'm not actually missing Greg Pringle now. He's been that good the last couple of months. I know we've said it down in the comments. I know we were worried the first couple of months. Even the scout reports were poor before he came in. But this tells you, don't always listen to your scouts. Trust your instinct, trust your judgment. Because Kane Waters has become an absolute star for us. It's 5-2 to Bangor City. And it's almost been single-handed on his part. As Aspinall gets in, they brought the star man off the bench. And he's put one wide at a post. It was a gilt-edged chance. I mean, Pugh did well to close the angle. But he still had to score it. Unfortunately for them, he didn't. But for us, it just about wraps up our final place. 5-2 to Bangor City. And it's hard to remember, we were 2-0 down after 11 minutes. We were completely outclassed. But Kane Waters to the rescue with a hat-trick. Some brilliant performances across the board. In the end, it was a comfortable victory. We are back to face Barry Town United. We've had a little break, so hopefully a few people are fit. We've had 4 days off. We've definitely got a backup keeper back, although Pugh did pretty well, to be fair to him. In terms of the transfer window, though, it wasn't a busy January, which in itself was a little disappointing. In terms of loan players, we saw Levi Potts go from Wrexham to Colwyn Bay, who looks a good young number 10. Chris Miranda from Dunfermline to Llandudno, again, looks a pretty good young winger. And then TNS signed a backup striker at the end of the window. Not the best technically, but everything else, particularly the physical side of the game, is pretty good. I guess that's their direct replacement for Tony McLaughlin. But there are some big moves going about. There's some players being nicked from other clubs, and we're starting to find 5 or 6 really good teams. I mean, even Newtown, to be fair. Luca Hall's a decent fullback. Aaron Hilly is a decent winger. They're all starting to bolster their squads a bit. But for now, let's get into the Barry Town United match. We know it's great. Jenkins, Thomas, and the likes of Bradley Gibbons we've got to watch out for. But as well as Ratcliffe being back, George Wickens is fit. So after 1 game in the team and a big semi-final, Pugh is back down to the reserves. Yesden Weaver is fit as well, so Morgan Boys will drop back down to the bench for Badebo. And then Carl Lacey will come in to meet the quota of under-19s. And he'll replace Joe Duffy, who's fallen behind Dean in the pecking order, ironically, due to his brilliant form. There's a heavy match load again, but we've got a week off after this, so I think we'll be alright after those 3 games. And as a result, I'm just going to cross my fingers for no injuries. Where possibly in the league, we're trying to bring on Lacey, Morgan and Pasiurek, the 3 youngsters. But that's the lineup we've gone for. We're as close to full strength as we can be. And really, from our first 11, it's probably just Chris Broom missing. So let's go and get into the second game of the day. And touch wood, it'll be another solid result. Well, it's a very good Barry Town United team. Again, they haven't got the under-19s on the bench, but they're a good squad. And that's where our loans to other clubs become important. But for now, we just want to try and get on top. If Barry Town United were at their best, they could compete with anyone in this league. And in terms of European action for next season, I do still hope they finish 3rd, because I think they've got the best chance. They've got the most big game players, they've got the most game changers. And we might have to lose for them to that to happen. But to be fair, they might earn it themselves at the moment, though Luke Williams finds Waters, and he doesn't care that he's left on his own with 2 or 3. He holds them up, he gets into the box, and he draws the foul for the penalty. Luke Williams will take it. Ever since I said he's been reliable from the spot, he's missed and missed. I think he's missed all of his last 3. He steps up now, and you can make that 4. Luke Williams hits the post. Oh, I've kiboshed him, haven't I? I have cursed the lad with my words. We miss another penalty. And the attribute has again deceived what's happening on the pitch. As we're back with 39 on the clock, it's been a pretty quiet first half to be fair. Barry holding their own here as McDonald plays a 1-2 with Harvey Lloyd. But the good thing is we've got game changers. It takes just one moment of magic. We had it against Swansea at uni when we had Waters who scored the goal. As Joe Weaver gets in, it's a brilliant strike. I was almost left speechless by that. He caught me out mid-sentence. It was Tom Jones who scored against Swansea at uni, by the way. But what a strike from Yesden Weaver. And when you need someone to step up, it's a left back. It's the player who the board and the fans were complaining about the deal that we bought him here on. £400,000 is a steal, let me tell you. MacDonald is absolutely shattered. He's got a knock. So Gwyn Morgan on for him. 45 minutes for the youngster. Barely started a game this year. He was first choice for TNS for a couple of seasons. But now we're trying to get the best out of him as Weaver goes long downfield to Waters, almost straight from the kickoff. Gets into the box. It's a good tackle. It's a penalty kick. It says Harvey Lloyd is going to take it. Do you know what? This is a risk. I'm going to give it to Kane Waters. because he's in the form of his life, and this could either end it, because he could miss, and then we go on a scoreless run, or it could be just what he needs. Here he is, stepping up left-footed. Kane Walters sends the keeper the wrong way. It does not matter what the penalty-taking attribute is. Just get a player who's in the best form of his life to take it, and Kane Walters will certainly not miss. Brilliant start to the second half, 2 goals very quickly, and one either side of the break has put Barrytown United to bed. So it's a long ball to Josh Thomas, our former player. Forward ball finds Jones though, he gives it to Luke Williams, cuts it back to Patrick Malone, out wide to Gwyn Morgan, into the box towards Walters! And not only that, it's opened the floodgates for him personally. 3-0 now, it has been the perfect start to the half. And it's game over. 4 shots on target, 3 goals, and a very big ruthless edge. And with an hour on the clock, we can look at changes. Patrick Malone will be replaced by Cole Lacey. Pasiarek will give a rest to Whittaker. And we'll leave it at that. The 3 youngsters come on. They're getting more crucial experience at the top level of Welsh football as Heath heads the throw-in away to Harvey Lloyd. And you've got to feel a bit for Barry. It's not been a 3-0 game. Nearly 2 of our 2.5 expected goals have come directly from penalty kicks. And one of them we missed, by the way. It's just been ruthless counter-attacking displays as Harvey Lloyd gets it again. Back to Price, and this is the good thing when you get to 2 or 3-0, you can just relax and wait for the right opportunity. Jenkins' long clearance finds Price, gives it to Furlong. We're still very good at pushing them back as Yesden Weaver gets it on the left. Takes on his man, scored the first goal to open this by the way, you know that was a brilliant finish. As Harvey Lloyd gets it again in the holding role. Gives it to Lacey the sub, wide to Gwyn Morgan, through ball to Walters, brilliant run. And to be fair, an equally good save from Thomas Barker. Wonderful goalkeeping from the Barry number 1. And he keeps us at bay. It's only 3-0. And that's largely due to the man between the sticks for Barry. As Gwyn Morgan throws in again to Luke Williams. Back to Morgan for a second time. Been another poor performance from Williams, I'm afraid. As Pasiarek gives it to Lacey, to Tom Jones. Look at these young players linking up. 4 or 5 from the academy. And that one whistles just wide from Morgan, who fancied his go at having a Yesden Weaver moment there. 15 to go, brilliant performance, and the title's wrapped up. Might be official if TNS lose their game as well. Not the most creative display. We didn't have hundreds and hundreds of shots on goal, and Barry weren't a bad side. But we were ruthless. We took our chances. Kane Walters was brilliant, and Yesden Weaver scored a cracker. Just what we needed. Let's go and have a look at the schedule to confirm when we're next going to be back. So good news, the Kai McDonald injury, just a few days. He'll be back next weekend. We've got a game against Aberystwyth in the Cup quarter-final. And then depending on what tie it is, we'll either come straight back for both legs of the Europa League knockout round. I mean, let's be honest, in the last 16, we're unlikely to get a smaller reputation side. If we do, we'll show the second leg and Motherwell. If not, we'll show both legs of that one. And then we'll show Motherwell and the second leg of the quarter-final if we're lucky enough to get through. The league doesn't really matter now. It will probably only be the cup final after that. But if you did enjoy this episode, that wonderful comeback against Linfield, the ruthless display against Barrytown, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you think of Kane Walters. I think it's fair to say he's won us all around now, isn't it? And subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories. Who are we going to have in the last 16 next time out? I'm hoping you're looking forward to finding out as much as me. And you can catch up in the meantime with all the main playlists up in the eye above, as well as the link to the new food channel with content every Friday evening at 6 PM. If you haven't seen the first video yet, please do go and give it a try in the eye above. And make sure you come and follow me over on Twitch. The link to the channel's in the description below, as we're going to have 7 live streams in 7 days in the second week of June, as we've got Euros watch-alongs, Football Manager streams, and plenty more to come in the future. So a massive thank you for watching. It really is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next time. European football is back at Bangor City. And can we raise the coefficient any further?